Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Sepak. On today's show, we are welcoming Dr. Kim Hoffmans. She is the president of Ventura College, and also Ann Paul King, who is the executive director of Ventura College Foundation. Thank you both for joining us on the show today.
Glad to be here.
Our pleasure.
Good. Dr. Hoffmans, let's start with you. Why are community colleges so very important?
So you may or may not know, but over 2 million students attend community colleges in the state of California. And 38% of those students are first generation students, meaning they're the first in their family to go to college. So you can see just by that introduction how community colleges can affect our community. Ventura College, we have about 12,000 students annually, and most of those attend part-time, but they're attending either to gain new skills or to transfer to a university. So a really important part of their education. With an associate degree, students can average around $11,000 extra annually over their peers who have no college education. So that can make a big difference in the amount of the ability of our students to pay for their own academic success, as well as support their families and our community. Community college offer training on high demand jobs. As you can imagine, especially during this pandemic, we've had a lot of our employees that helped, and they were first line front and center during the pandemic. And those would be our nurses, our emergency medical technicians, our paramedics. We also have jobs in our education related to diesel mechanics and manufacturing. We've recently started a vet tech program in our Santa Paula East campus, and that was out of the needs of the community. I had some local veterinarians come to me and say, this is needed. There is a desperate shortage. And through public-private partnerships, we have been able to establish that program. So there's a lot of good things that our community college do for our students as well as our community.
Great. And let's talk a little bit about students who are attending and financial support and support that we need for these people to attend the college. Is this growing? I imagine it is.
So through the Ventura Foundation, we started a program called the Promise Program. Okay. And this really did spur on a statewide initiative where it's now statewide, but our local Promise program covered the tuition for the first, and then we were starting to do the second year for all of our full-time students in the county, our first-time full-time students. Okay. Now the initiative is statewide, so all students can attend community college 1 to 2 years if they're full-time first-time students, which is a tremendous support to not have to pay for their education. And so that is support that we have, and we hope that the state will continue to see the rewards of that, the return on their investment, and support those initiatives. We've also had a lot of support for our students. 55% of Ventura College students are low income or considered low or extremely low income students. Okay. And so most of them are eligible for financial aid. Also, we have scholarships available for them, and we have basic needs supporting their housing, as well housing recommendations, as well as their food needs and other stuff like diapers and those kind of things. It's really an all-stop service shop. Okay. So financial aid is important and is being supported by our community and our state right now. So it's fabulous.
Good. And let's talk a little bit with you. Are philanthropists starting to notice community colleges more and giving more?
Well, that's absolutely true. And over the last 2 years, especially through the pandemic, what we have received system-wide an injection of philanthropy. So you may have heard that the J. Pritzker Foundation awarded a $100 million grant to the entire California community college system. And then most recently, Mackenzie Scott and her husband announced $55 million that were given to across 7 community colleges in California. Okay. So these are just 2 examples of that the acknowledgement that there is something happening here, that the investment in community colleges might be, one of the best strategies that we have for increasing social and economic mobility and addressing longstanding inequalities in our community and ensuring that all of the members of our community have access to higher education.
Mhm.
At Ventura College, we received $12 million from Miriam Schwab out of her estate. And that was about 3.5 years ago. And, that was the largest gift to a community college in Southern California at its time. So there really is this recognition that something is happening here that can really be a game changer for our communities.
So let's talk about some of the ways that people can support that partnership for Ventura College. That makes a big difference for so many that want to be a part of the school and for any community college for that matter. But tell us how the support is going to be there for them.
Okay, well, President Hoffman's just talked about, this lots of financial aid, talked about this tuition support. We have at Ventura College, I think almost 50% of our classes are a zero cost textbook, have a zero cost textbook capacity. And so, textbooks are often seen as maybe more expensive than tuition and can be a huge financial barrier for our students. There are just a lot of ways that are really important. All of these things, basic needs, are so important because the total cost of education for a student to come to community college is much more than tuition, much more than books, much more than tools. It costs about $18,500 for a full-time community college student to be able to take themselves out of their life and enter into being a full-time student. So these are these other costs: transportation, making sure there's food, making sure that rent is paid for, the opportunity lost to work additional jobs. Most of our students do work 1 to 3 jobs on the side as they are students, just to get through and make sure that they can be successful. So at Ventura College, our foundation has been very successful even through the pandemic. In the last the last academic year, 2021, the foundation was able to give $700,000 of direct student support directly to students to able to defray that cost so that we can remove financial barriers so students have this opportunity to succeed. And then additionally, we gave $900,000 to over 28 Ventura College programs across 17 departments and divisions. And that is to be able to provide these tools in their classroom with those advisory groups from our business community so that our students have the skills that they need to enter the workforce immediately.
Very good. So in closing, Dr. Hoppins, does the future look very bright for Ventura College?
The future is very bright for Ventura College. Thank you so much, Sandra, for asking.
Very good. And Ann Paul King, let me get your closing thoughts on what you would like to see for the future for Ventura College.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just continue to invite the community to support our students through scholarship funding, textbook lending support, basic needs support, and in funding all those tools that our students need to succeed. And this in turn is going to support our economy and lift all of us up in the community because of that.
Very good. And Ann, could you share the Ventura College website, any information that people looking for can find there? What will they find on the website?
Well, the VenturaCollegeFoundation.org is where you can find giving information just to support the college. And then there's VenturaCollege.edu, and that is information for our students to enroll and additional information about all of our student programs for the community too.
Very good.
Yeah.
And Dr. Hoppins, what will we see next for Ventura College?
Well, what we're hoping for, and this will be a game changer for our students, is we've been recommended by the Department of Finance for for affordable student housing. So I'm hoping that's what you're going to see next on our campus.
Good. That would be great. Well, I'd like to thank both of you, Dr. Kim Hoffmans and Ann Paul King of Ventura College, for sharing so much good information today. We do hope that if you are interested in attending Ventura College or need information on financial assistance or more, you will follow the website, get more from there. and certainly come visit the college. It's always a great thing to do as well. And thank all of you for joining us today on our Ventura. We really appreciate you being here. And certainly we look forward to seeing you next time.